Greetings, my Israelite brothers and sisters, heirs, joint heirs, adopted, grafted, whoever you may be. Just wanted to say greetings to each and every one of you. Just wanted to say hello. I was driving and just wanted to give you a couple of things as we were driving. There's something very interesting that you see when we see this election, and I'm seeing the division brewing up. Things, you would expect things to get better over time, but we see biblical prophecy just really coming out and coming out and coming out as we watch what's happening in world politics, in particular Africa. A lot is happening in Africa. It's almost like all of the world powers are concentrating back on Africa, and it's because the resources and the minerals that are there. So politically, when you see these political parties get into play, what you're seeing is the move that they're making on a global level. It's very interesting, very interesting. Some things they don't even put in our mainstream media because they have us concentrating, and we should concentrate on what's going on nationally. But a lot of governments don't let you know what they're doing on a global level. And so the question is, what does that have to do with us biblically? Because we are a global issue. Those that have been scattered are a global issue. One of the prophets says they have conspired to keep things hidden from you. They've done that. They've conspired to do that. And so when we look at what's happening globally, we see some things that's happening. J. Rob says he's on his lunch break. Mega Old School, how you doing? So we see some things happening on that. Being that I also, something that's on my mind, don't forget, I sent most of you an email telling you what you need to do before tomorrow night, so that when we do go and do our webinar, you're already prepared. You can, I had somebody test, an older gentleman, he tested his phone with me yesterday, and it was so easy for him. Once he downloaded the Zoom app and registered, then what he did was I sent him a invitation, and it worked so great with him. He was just so happy because it worked so great. So don't forget to do that so that you can be a part of it. But what's happening globally is just amazing, amazing. Tonight, I think at around 7:30, I'm going to be doing a live interview with Minister Michael Norman. Minister Michael Norman is out of North Carolina. He came into the truth some years ago, and he has a couple of I don't think they call them CDs today. They call them EPs. So he has a couple EPs, a couple music videos out. He's going to be at the Great Gathering Hebrew Conference that's going to be in High Point, North Carolina, along with some other artists that we're going to have there at that conference. So he's going to be there. How you doing, Tobiah Vickers? How you doing? So he is going to be on tonight with me tonight, around 7 to 7:30. We're going to be on live, and we're going to be interviewing him, talking about some of the things that he's doing there in Charlotte, North Carolina. Very good brother, very good brother. Came into the truth. And he's doing a lot of things in terms of music and ministry to reach out to the scattered tribes. So a great job that he's doing. So I want to introduce him and his music into what he's doing. Not that he needs an introduction, because he's doing a lot of great things. He's traveling, he's opening up, he has his own business. I won't tell you everything, he'll share that with you tonight, but that's going to be tonight around 7:30. We're going to be live, and we're going to be sharing what he does, because he is going to be one of our featured artists that's going to be at the High Point Great Gathering Hebrew Conference. Shout out to Minister Anthony Douglas over in North Carolina, because he's a facilitator putting this project together over there in North Carolina. So shout out to him. Brother Benaiah, Israel, we're going to be doing something with him in a few days, probably the beginning of next week, because he's got a couple more projects that he's got coming up. We're going to share those with you and what he's doing as well. He is going to be at the Great Gathering Hebrew Conference as well. So Minister Douglas is getting that together over there, so we really appreciate the work that he's doing, because he's really getting things together over there. So we're going to be doing a lot and having some things together and getting a lot of good things done. So shout out to all of you all on that. But I was talking about what's happening on the globe, especially in Africa. You know, wow. It's like everybody's converging on Africa. Every country wants to have a colony. They want to have a footprint in Africa. Everybody. And there's a reason for that. I'm doing some research into it, because there are a lot of Hebrew Israelite tribes that are in Africa who keep the customs of Israel. They've been doing it. They've been doing it forever. They're there. The Igbo tribe, the Dahomey, the Guinea, the Limbu, all of those tribes are there. In fact, there's a brother, Amwa. We're going to be interviewing him and talking, because he talks about the Paleo Hebrew and what does that mean, because a lot of us that do try to learn Hebrew, a lot of the words that we consider to be the correct words are not necessarily the correct words according to Hebrew. We kind of put vowels and stuff where they don't belong based upon sounds, and actually some people even argue and debate if you're not using the name that they're using. So I try not to get into all of that, try to maintain fellowship with all of our Hebrew brothers and sisters, so to kind of get into those debates. But when I was talking with him several weeks ago, and I simply asked him, I said, if you were going to say his name in Hebrew, how would you say it? He says, Yahweh. I said, oh, okay. So, and I told him that we'll talk about that once we interview him in a few weeks. He's doing a lot of big stuff. So I just only have been able to communicate with him through emails since we've had our last phone conversation several weeks ago. I don't mean to rub it in, but it's 87 degrees here in South Florida, 87 degrees. Brother Julius from the Israel of God will be here tomorrow. He's going to be our guest speaker this weekend, so we're looking forward to having him. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing the Bible study. So again, if you have not already downloaded the Zoom app, please do that. And when you do that, you'll be already set up and ready to go. Tia, how are you? She says it's fall here and she loves it. Yeah, Philadelphia has leaves that are changing and turning and all of that. It's a beautiful season there. I know where Mega Old School is. It's beautiful there. Um, North Carolina, J-Rob, where you are, I know it's beautiful there. I think you're in North Carolina right now, not for sure. But I know that it's beautiful where you are. I think you might be in Fayetteville, if I'm not mistaken. Um, the old ground where I grew up, because my father was in the 82nd Airborne. Mega Old School says it's cold today. Wow, wow. So, well, I hate to rub it in. 87 degrees. It's 11:45, just about, and it's 87 degrees, and I'm out and about. And so Crystal Martin says, good morning. It's cold in North Carolina. Crystal, we hope to see you. I don't know what part of North Carolina, but we hope to see you at the Great Gathering Hebrew Conference. It's going to be in High Point, North Carolina. I got near some railroad tracks, so exception, but I am back. Crystal is in Raleigh-Durham. She's in the Raleigh-Durham area. I don't know how far that is directly from High. I don't know how far that is directly from High Point, but if you're able to come, it'd be nice. We're going to be showing more information on that. We're going to be, in fact, tonight, again, those that are tuning in, we're going to be interviewing Minister Michael Norman. He is one of the featured artists, musical artists, that's going to be there at the High Point Great Gathering Hebrew Conference. We're going to be talking to him tonight. He's going to be sharing some of the things that he's doing to share and educate Israel. So he's going to be there tonight. We're going to be talking to him, and so that is going to be live tonight. So if you're able to tune in around 7:30, please do that. It'd be nice to have you all a part of that, so you can share with him and some of the things he's doing. His song is the one that plays when our team here re-edits. He's the one that sings the song, taking it to the streets. So he does a very good job on that. He's got a whole albums, EPs is what they call them today. His stuff is on Amazon Music, Apple Music, all of that stuff. So, and there's a lot of other musical groups that's going to be there. So because it's a 3-day event, there's going to be music every night before the presentation starts. There's going to be others making presentations as well. So we're looking forward to that. So I just wanted to jump in the afternoon to let you know, talk about the elections. And now that it's over with, I am one that pays attention to what goes on in everyday news to see how things are lining up and what they mean. Sometimes they don't mean nothing. They just, like when you hear a war, the scriptures always talk about there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, so that's the way it is. How you doing, Rodney? Rodney says, send up the likes. Thank you very much, Rodney. I appreciate that. Jacob's dad, good morning, sir. How are you? So there's going to be so much that we have to look at. We really need to look at what's happening in the world, especially Africa. It always makes me curious as to why everybody's converging in to tap into the mineral capital. I call Africa the mineral continent of the world. There is Minister Anthony Douglas. Man, we just got finished talking about you and saying a lot of great things about what's going to be happening at High Point. But Africa is the mineral continent of the world. That's where a lot of things come in at. And this is why things are happening. It would be nice to see a United States of Africa. were all of those tribes or colonies there, or the borders that was done by the Berlin Conference, would be able to get it together, and to know what's going on there in Africa, because Berlin Conference did all of those dividing lines. And so today, one of the strategies that has always been to keep people from working together is boundaries and borders, you know, and we see that today, even among the different Hebrew Israelite groups. There's borders, and there's a lack of coming together, because if you do something this way and I do something that way, we're not able to work together. And this is a trick of the adversary to keep us apart. If I use the English version by saying God, Jesus, or whatever, and you say Yahweh and Noah's Yahuwah, these things divide us. And it has always been a trick of the adversary to do that. There is a letter that came out several years ago, and it was called the Willie Lynch letter. The Willie Lynch letter. You can Google the Willie Lynch letter and just read that letter. Some people speculated that it wasn't a real letter. Some people say that it was an actual letter, but nonetheless, read the letter. Read that letter. It's called the Will, and do that. And you can, the division comes at. Rodney Frederick says camps are like denominations, and you're absolutely right. They're different, and being that they're different, there's these division and dividing lines that come up, and what happens is there's lack of dialogue, or let me say there's lack of respectful dialogue, and it's difficult for people to say, the leaders, let's let the leaders come and sit down at the table and let's discuss some things. Let's discuss, should we do this? Should we not do this? Is this the way we keep feast days, or do we keep it that way? Let's come in and have that dialogue in doing that. There's a group called the Ark out in California. I think they're called the, I forgot. But anyway, I don't know them. I never met them. I did speak with Sister Hilda during an email, talking about doing something here, them coming to do something here. But I like what they do. You know, they travel around. They have a pretty good following. And when people come there, I've listened to how their spirit is, where they just welcome people to come and learn, and they share what they know. And I like that. I don't know them, but if anybody does know them, give them a commend from me. Just tell them I just commend their work. You know, I like what they do. And they always are always, it's seemingly to open to just sit down, and that spirit of fellowship I love. And this is what it has to take today, is that we have been able to come together and talk and chat. So what I have been able to do is reach out to some brothers and sisters that are of the faith in Africa, and to see what they are doing. And I learned, because I was always told when I came into the truth that all Africans are Ham. All Africans are Hamites. And what I quickly learned is that not all Africans are Hamites. Pastor, in speaking of that Willie Lynch letter, there was a teaching on that Willie Lynch. Okay. Yeah, yeah, and you know, we can, when we do an open forum, I would like for us to kind of share in some of that. Um, so I learned that not everybody from Africa is Ham. There are a lot of people and a lot of tribes, such as the Igbo, the Dahomey, the Guinea. A lot of these people have been keeping and speaking Paleo Hebrew. And this brother that I met, Brother Anwar, he's out in Las Vegas, but he's doing a lot of seminars right now, and he's going to come on, and we're going to do an interview. And it really disturbed him when he was up in Africa, or there was a brother that he knew that was up in, not Africa, New York. And he went up because he didn't know that these guys were on the street sharing about feast days and all like that. So he went up and he introduced himself to a particular group, and they asked him right away, says, can you give the name of the group in California again? It's called the ARK, A-R-K, A-R-K. You can probably put that in, the YouTube search. What you can do to look them up, I know that the teacher's wife has a channel called Her Royal Roots. Hilda is her name, Her Royal Roots. And they've taken several trips to Africa. And one of the trips that they took, not to Africa, they've taken several trips to Israel. And one of the trips, she was in Palestine and was able to find a Hebrew who is considered to be Palestinian. But what she learned was this guy was an older guy, spoke very good English. He became her tour guide, and he's Hebrew, but he's Palestinian. And so he shared with her, and she videoed it, that there's a lot of Hebrews who are Palestinian, because the land was called Palestine before the so-called Jews got there and started to break up the land. So it was interesting to do that, to see that. So I just want to share with you, I'm going to have to run, but I will say this. Tonight, we're going to be interviewing Minister Michael Norman, who's going to be at the Great Gathering Hebrew Conference. So that's going to be tonight. He's going to be there. We're going to be talking about the Great Gathering Hebrew Conference. We're going to be talking about him as an artist. So that's going to be tonight around 7:30. Also, if you have not downloaded the Zoom app and registered, make sure you register, because it will make the connection easy and simple. So we're going to be doing Bible study tomorrow night. So if you're able to do that, and I just want to say to all of you peace, and I also want to end one more time. It's 87 degrees where I'm at in South Florida. Oh, Brother Julius will be our guest speaker this Sabbath in our class, in our congregation here at Bethel in Fort Lauderdale. Peace, everyone. Shalom. We'll talk soon.